Hi, it's Karen Turner, and today I'm going to show you how to do VLookups. It's a very simple way to deal with things that are in a long list. In my example here, I've got an HR table with employee information. I've got a guy called Davis Lee here, and I've already put in a VLookup to show me what department he's in. So if you know somebody's employee ID, you can pop that in and you'll get the person. If I just show you on the ones that I've already pop in there, it could be a word, it could be that I put in their name instead. If I just go for number 6, for example, and press enter or click on the tick, then it's Annie Phillips and she's in the human resources. So let me show you how this formula is done. It's equals VLookup, open a bracket, A6 is the field that we want to search in. Then you can either name a range of the table, or as I've done, you can give it a range name, and then you count over how many columns you want to pick up the information that you need. In this case, it's column 2, so it's 2. The false at the end, what that is the value that you look up could either be an exact match or approximate match. In our case today, we are looking for an exact match, so I can either put the word false in there or a 0. I'll go into approximate matches in another blog. But basically, we would use those for numerical ranges where we haven't got every figure in between a certain range. So looking at this, I'm just going to show you the next one along is how I've looked up the department that Annie belongs to. It looks up column 5, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for human resources. Okay, so I'm going to pop into the next one along, which is the earnings column. If you can see along there, it's going to be column 6. So what I do is I start creating a formula with the equal sign, and the formula is called VLookup. So if I start typing VL, you'll see it goes straight to VLookup, and I can just double click on there and it pops up a nice little hint here for me. I can move that along if it's in the way. And it's also really good because it shows me in bold what the next part of the formula is that I've got to do. So I've got to tell it what to look up, and it's going to look up this cell here. So a comma will take us on to the next part of the VLookup formula. So the table array, I've already mentioned, I've named this table and I've called it emp info. So if I start typing EMP, you'll see little labels pop up for the named ranges in this particular spreadsheet. So emp info is just there. If I didn't already have those named, I could drag over all the data in the table that I wanted to include. When you do that, then you don't want to put the titles of the columns in, such as employee ID, name, PC allocation. So I'm going to accept this little time saver here, emp info, just double click it in. Let's put in a comma to take us on to the next part, and you can see in bold it now says column index number. Sounds more complicated than it is. Basically, we're looking for the earnings column. So the 6th one across is earnings. I do want it to be, if I put in a comma to take me on to the last bit, an exact match. So I can either double click on false, or I could put in a 0, that would be fine too. And then remember to put your end bracket on with these more complex formulas and tick it to enter it. And you can see the earnings for Annie, just here, E006, 42,000. So there's no formatting on the cell for the number there. If you want to do that, you can do that in addition later on. The great thing about this VLookup is if I change this number now and I wanted to look up, say, employee number 10, so I put in E10, then it's Trevor Johnson. So whatever piece of information I want to search by, I would put in there. This is very useful to people who have long parts lists. They might know the part number and want to look up details, that kind of thing. And what I've put in here is I've put in an identification column for the PCs that all my employees have. So again, let's just pop through this. It's equals VLookup. Double click just there, look up the value in A6, comma, then the table array, employee info table, double click that, comma, take us onto the column index number, so I put in a number 3 there, and put in a comma, and it's an exact match that we're looking for. So I can tick that, and I've now got the PC allocation. So it's not formatted, the data in this cell here is formatted. If you want me just to show you that, if I want to copy the formatting with the zeros, leading zeros, and the dashes between the numbers, what I could do is use my format painter. Whilst I've got the mouse on the piece of data that I want to copy the format from, I click this and that would change the format to match. So I'll just show it again with the earnings, for example. I'll just format paint it because that's really easy. So it's really valuable because this could be a very long list of people. It could be thousands. So you're able to quickly pick up the information, that you want. Okay, that's it for now. Have a practice and come back to me if you've got any questions.